Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We're excited here at NeuralSeek. There's a lot of fun, great changes coming and a lot of growth. With that, I'll introduce myself. I'm new to the team this month. My name is Lawrence Patrizio. I'm the head of growth here. Do everything from sales, marketing, a little bit of partnership strategy, just anything related to growing. With that, we also have a new, I want to say, flavor to our solution here at NeuralSeek. And when we step back as a team and really put some thought into what makes NeuralSeek great, it's these three categories: speed, simplicity, success. And in a world where everyone is slapping the word AI agent on everything, it's important to step back and think about what NeuralSeek is building with those three pillars of speed, simplicity, and success. We are helping enterprises in the most governed, secure way possible accomplish agentic AI, true decision making, taking advantage of the benefits of AI to get cost savings for your business. And with these three pillars, to briefly dive in, we categorize our features into them. Speed. Think NeuralSeek's Maestro ability to convert simple text into fully functioning AI agents, generating thousands of lines of code automatically. This, we've seen customers be able to develop agentic AI 80 to 90% faster. Also, the ability to very quickly switch on the fly your LLM that's powering your agentic AI has been greatly beneficial for our customers to mitigate risk. And then lastly, by having a scalable by design feature set, as you're building more and more in the platform, it helps you build faster and faster. Then simplicity. While a lot of things about AI are very complex, we try to make it as simple as possible. We have a no code foundation, drag and drop interface, and we're a user centric design. And lastly, but most importantly, is that we rally around the theme of success. We are here to ensure that not these AI use cases don't just sit in pre-prod and they eventually get themselves to be in production and specifically get themselves to be in front of your downstream customers. To get to that point, you need to have built-in governance, a proven track record, and sustainable AI operations. With that, I'll hand it over to my team to go through this month's documentation and general updates. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. So Robert or RJ here. Happy to go over the this month's technical updates. Every month I kind of walk through our change log and what's new last month, this month, and a little preview of what's upcoming. So get a screen share going. All right, perfect. So we'll start on the configure tab. So a couple new things, right? We added a couple new LLMs to the supported on Bring Your Own Model. So we have a couple new models with Amazon Bedrock, the Nova family released a couple months ago. And it's really interesting, powerful models from Bedrock family. So definitely something to check out. We also have on the Together AI platform, out of the box, the DeepSeek models that have been making quite a stir lately. Upcoming, in our next release, we're going to be offering a full instance backup and restore. So this is a full backup and restore of everything. Previously, we've had like a configuration upload and restore, but this only would handle our configuration tab. So it supported knowledge base, LLMs, and guardrails, right? The full instance backup and restore is more for people on trial plans or people with multiple instances. If you want to spin up a dev instance, you can completely replicate the whole environment as is. That is the configuration, but also the curate tab, any content in it, and also logs and past usage. So a whole snapshot of the instance from A to B. Then walking over to Maestro a little bit, we're going to take a look at that. So we might be familiar with, some of the templates that we have. This is an example template that we have, video loop, right? So right here, basically an example of how to send images to a multimodal LM. This is an example of us looping over a video, grabbing each frame from the video, and then sending that to an LLM for a description. So you can see, I spared you the runtime here, but we've already ran it and got our description. What I want to highlight here is we brought the ability to like see a preview of what's being sent to the LLM. So you're no longer guessing, whether it's a document picture, a video frame, you're able to kind of preview what gets sent to the LLM on each call. So it's very helpful. We also brought some new features for like document writing. You're able to write out to PowerPoint files, Word docs, PDFs, and also image, text, CSV files, and then subsequently download that, right? So if we go PowerPoint, we'll grab this, generate a PowerPoint file, and you can see we now have like a test PowerPoint that I'm able to download and display. And there we go. So, very nice to be able to download files. We also brought a make NTL node. So we might be familiar with like the auto builder feature, right? Being able to like in plain words describe what you want to build and get that flow built out for you. So we brought that as a usable node in the flow. So you can not only run agents dynamically using the select agent plan that I'll cover in a moment, but you're also able to directly generate and then run NTL dynamically. So we're able to pick agents dynamically, but also auto build and auto run. Another little highlight from the agent registry is the ability to group and select dynamically agents that are configured. So we're able to create a registry, add agents to it, and then later ask NeuralSeek to pick the correct agent or agents from a plan and create a plan. So in this little example, I have, get the current weather recap and tell me what I should wear. So based on the weather recap provided, we basically took this and looped twice to say, I want to get the weather, provide a recap, and then use the user's query to tell me what I should wear. Very effective when you have a lot of templates and maybe want the user to decide on the fly which ones should be ran or not. Maybe selecting orders and we need to generate dynamic SQL. You can let the LLM basically use this like function calling and select what we need on the fly. That's kind of a highlight from last month. So jumping into like next month, upcoming, we're bringing the ability to schedule agents. So if I bring it over here, um, man, I thought I had a schedule. Yeah, I do have a schedule. Okay, just had to refresh. So, we basically are rolling out the ability to schedule agents to be ran on a cron compatible timeline. So we give you a little schedule editor to be able to like, pick and choose times. But if you're familiar with the cron format, we support that. I basically have this example set up to show like, an example of like running every hour on the hour. So you can see like the last run, the next run, and have descriptions. So it's useful if you want to check the state of something, maybe send a notification email out, sync from database to database, or periodically check and use natural language to update descriptions in a database. Super flexible and endless possibilities along with our other features, right? So I think that kind of wraps up for Maestro. One other cool feature that I want to show off before I wrap up is governance. So we might be familiar with the Seek logs, right? Something that's been around for a while. So we recently brought out the feature to Maestro as well. So this is really helpful for a lot of things, actually. You're able to see, how long things are running, when things are running, but also like tying into the scheduler and also even like minimum confidence messages when we're dynamically running Maestro flows. It's hard to see and get visibility into what's happening during those flows. So maybe my custom minimum confidence message flow that got triggered went off the rails or provided an unsatisfactory answer. We're able to go in and replay that transaction at that point in time to see what the flow looked like, what the output of the flow was, but also see everything in the flow and inspect the values. So we're able to, drill down to exactly what happened, when it happened, why it happened. That also extends to like every run. So even if it's not an automated run, for example, that video loop that I just showed you, I'm able to go back and replay that. And again, see the whole flow, the output of the flow, and even drill down to like the specific steps that happened. I skimmed over this a little bit earlier, but we actually also let you see, I gotta rerun this. So we actually let you see the um, status now. So on longer runs, we actually send you that payload live as it's happening. Just gotta refresh this page, I think. From the video template, and we'll run it. You can see down here the steps are actually changing as we go. I picked the wrong LLM here, right? Need an image LLM. So when we debug, we're actually able to watch this happen live as it's happening. So, if you have a long running flow that may be taking some time, you'll be able to come in here and get a status check of what's happening. If are we, 5,000 loops in and we want to cancel because this is going to take 4 hours and we need to rethink the build. Um, Definitely helps with visibility into like what's going on as it's happening. I think that's a good spiel. I think that's all my technical updates. If there's any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But I feel like we can probably segue over to Jordan for the documentation updates.
Thank you, RJ. I'm going to grab a screen share here. And then I will be happy to go over some documentation updates. So I have our documentation page pulled up, and if you have been following with NeuralSeek on our LinkedIn or checking out our neuralseek.com website lately, you might have noticed a bit of a revamp, some changes there. And there's also some significant changes here within our documentation. I think I say this every time, but we are always updating our documentation to keep in line with new feature releases, and the ones that RJ is highlighting for us here today. Some major updates with the documentation are our formatting. So I'm just going to walk through a little bit of it, where you can find the information that you need if you're following along, getting started with NeuralSeek, wanting to know these new updates, or more extensively know about each of the features. I'm on our main Getting Started page. Learning about the new features that have been released each month, I'm going to click down here to our change log. So this shows our updates for February, some of these new features that we saw that RJ had just demonstrated. And then we have a new table of contents sidebar that allows me to see insights into each and every month as well. If I am looking to understand more about our Maestro logs or our Maestro replay, or any UI feature that is available on NeuralSeek, we have moved that to exploring our interface. So getting started with NeuralSeek, And then I'm able to click here on the left sidebar, each tab that relates to the heading of the top of your NeuralSeek instance. So for example, I can click into Configure, and I'll get a nice overview of what Configure is and why it is important, how to utilize it, but also a deeper level of understanding of each of the configuration details. I can see those here on my sidebar. So I can click down into them, and then I get a nice overview of each of the values that are there within our Configure tab. And this isn't just for Configure, it's for each and every one of our Maestro, or I'm sorry, each and every one of our NeuralSeek features. Maestro functionality is as well in its own tab. So we get a nice Maestro overview if you are getting started with Maestro and wanting to learn how to build an agent. That information is available for you. And then as sort of a developer guide, I can come into NTL functions and expand on one of the functions that's seen within Maestro and understand each of its parameters, returns, and specific values that go into those operations. Just a little bit better formatted and for your easy navigation for you as you're coming in and learning about all the different functions. Again, each of the pages, if I expand, let's say integrate, or let's expand Maestro again, because this is a big feature and a very lengthy page. As I scroll down, something else to highlight all the way here at the bottom is our features and our guides. So we have a list of relevant articles that are available for each of the features that give you a little bit more insight into the feature. So for Maestro here, a relevant feature would be multimodal LLM usage. So you can click on that feature and expand and learn what it is, why it's important, and how does it work, as well as some specific guides. So setting up a virtual knowledge base, dynamic filter, these are all relative to the Maestro tab. So I can access them here on that Maestro page and just be directly linked to a guide. For other usage, if I just want a quick walkthrough of the guides as well, we have that populated here on the sidebar, guides and walkthroughs, and I can expand each of these tabs and access a specific guide that I'm looking for. A distinguishing feature between the guides and the features are for a guide, you'll get more of a step-by-step overview as opposed to the features where you can just learn more about that functionality. Also, to learn more about NeuralSeek, we have a few additional links under more about NeuralSeek. Our homepage directs us to neuralseek.com, but we've also added a community page where you can go ahead and click to contact the community and get a direct link there as well. Of course, on our NeuralSeek site, we still have our data security and privacy available NeuralSeek plans for your viewing. So just a few new updates with documentation. And I'm going to pass it off for Q&A now. RJ, I do have a question as it relates to some of the new features within NeuralSeek and the specific models that you've shown. So each of the models now on the staging site are show the capabilities that are available. So I guess my question is, like, if I'm utilizing the PowerPoint and I need to know if one of the large language models that I have comes with those imaging capabilities, that shows on our configure tab when I'm selecting those model cards.
Yeah, so I think what you're asking is which models are multimodal, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we tell you that. I'm just going to share my screen again. So we actually show you on like the supported inputs and outputs. Image generation is on the roadmap coming up, but we basically show you on every one, whether it's like text, with a little document or image inputs. So you can see Nova Pro lets you have image and text. Looks like all the Nova models have image and text allowed. Where if you go to like OpenAI, just because I know these off the top of my head, like GPT 3.5 doesn't allow image input, but GPT 4.0 does. GPT 4.0 also allows like sound files, right? Um, the Nova family has a couple models that are for video generation and video understanding, which is on the roadmap to support. So really, you can scroll through and find a model that you want to use, and we'll tell you if it supports your selected input. Perfect. I think if there's no questions flowing in from YouTube or the other media sites. I don't have any questions in chat. Do you want to pick back up, Joy?
I can close this out. Thank you.
Yeah,
This is
perfect.
great. And as always, we love to hear feedback from people out in the community, out in the world. So definitely reach out to us. We have info@neuralseek.com, as well as you can just reach out to any of us directly on LinkedIn or visit the website.